Selecting a tactical rifle can be confusing. There are many different types, lengths, and brands. You need to do quite a bit of research here. You also need to determine what your application for the weapon will be. Simply, what you are going to use it for. There are generally 3 routes you can go here: full custom, semi-custom, and off-the-shelf. A full custom AR-15 is completely built to order. All of its parts will be matched by hand and have extremely close tolerances. This kind of weapon will be significantly more expensive than others. They will also be harder to get, as there will be fewer of them made by the builder. It is generally ordered and purchased directly from the builder. The most important aspect of selecting a custom AR-15 is selecting a builder with a proven history of consistent and reliable builds. The rifle is only going to perform well if the rifle is built properly. Word of mouth is good, but search for reviews. Look for unbiased testing. If you see some questionable reviews, call or email the builder about them. If he brushes you off or won't take your calls, it's probably an indication of the level of customer service you can expect. This will be important because extremely close tolerances usually mean at some point you will need the builder to rework some of the parts. Semi-custom rifles are custom rifles built by companies on a slightly larger scale. You will generally be able to pick from several configurations and features that they regularly build. These rifles are generally also ordered and purchased directly from the company. However, you may find a few at some stores. Most companies will still hand match the parts for good tolerances. Some of these rifles can fall into the category of a full custom rifle because many of the pre-configured options can be changed to order. The weapon I have, a custom JP-15 from JP Enterprises, falls into this category. I choose to field this rifle because of its long proven track record on the competition circuit and JP's great customer service. An off-the-shelf rifle is just what it sounds like. This is a rifle that is mass-produced by companies in a few configurations and sold in many retail stores. They will generally have slightly looser tolerances than custom models. Looser tolerances can slightly decrease shot group consistency, but it decreases malfunctions and the need for the owner to send the rifle back in for service. All of these rifles will perform well because they are built on the AR-15 platform. This rifle series has evolved and perfected itself over a very long service history that began all the way back into 1958. Once you've decided on a company to buy from, your first big decision will be barrel length. Barrel length is a trade-off between maneuverability and muzzle velocity. This is a trade that you need to be very concerned with. Muzzle velocity is a huge factor in accuracy and zero distance. Most shooters don't need a short-barreled rifle. Short-barreled rifles are very maneuverable and useful in confined spaces. However, standard factory ammunition will not perform well out of these rifles. This is because standard factory ammo is designed to be test-fired from a 20-inch blank barrel at the factory. That is where manufacturer's velocity data is derived from. The powder in the cartridge is designed to burn at a specific rate, applying even pressure to the back of the bullet until it exits the barrel. As you decrease the barrel length, the bullet begins to exit the barrel before the powder has finished burning. This means that less force has been imparted on the bullet and it will be traveling slower. It also means that the unburnt powder ignites outside of the muzzle, causing a bright muzzle flash. I recommend against purchasing a short-barreled rifle unless you have access to specialized and expensive ammunition like the SOCOM Brown Tip, or you are prepared to reload large volumes of your own ammunition that are designed for short barrels. Remember, a short-barreled weapon is excellent for short ranges or confined spaces. However, you do not always get to choose the range at which you are presented with a threat. Distances that short-barreled rifles do not perform well in can easily present themselves even in CQB environments. The sweet spot for barrel lengths is between 14.5 and 18 inches. However, there is still some trade-off between those barrels. A 14.5-inch barrel will have some reduced muzzle velocity, while an 18-inch barrel will be more difficult to maneuver. The length that I generally recommend is 16 inches. A 16-inch barrel is short enough where it will function well in close engagements and long enough that I get great accuracy at longer distances. I also recommend choosing a free-floating barrel, like this one. A free-floating barrel is not attached to the front sight or handguard. This allows the barrel to flex freely and consistently during the firing process. Even slight pressure to the muzzle or barrel can affect the flight of the round. The other barrel characteristic you need to look at is the twist rate of the rifling. The rifling is the spiral pattern you see inside the barrel. The rifling consists of lands, which are the raised portion, and the grooves, which are the cut portion. These are cut inside the barrel to rotate or spin the bullet as it is propelled forward. The spin stabilizes the bullet to prevent tumbling, just like the spin on a football stabilizes it when it is passed. The bullet engages with the lands and grooves because it is slightly larger in diameter than the barrel, measured at the lands. For instance, the AR-15 has a .223 caliber barrel. The ammunition it fires, while it is labeled as .223 caliber, is actually .224 caliber ammunition. This allows the lands and grooves to bite into the bullet and apply grip to force it to spin. The twist rate is represented by a ratio, expressed as how many revolutions the twist makes in how many inches. This rifle has a 1:8 ratio. That means it has 1 revolution for every 8 inches. For most rifles, you will see twist rates of 1:7, 1:8, or 1:9. The closer the ratio, like 1:7, the faster the rate of spin. Heavier bullets require a faster rate of spin because it takes more energy to stabilize them. Shooting lighter ammunition at faster twist rates can cause them to break apart when they leave the barrel. A 1:7 rate is generally not needed unless you are shooting very heavy rounds, like a 77 grain. A 1:9 rate is a slightly slower twist rate that performs well for lighter ammunition, like the 55 grain round. I choose a 1:8 rate because it performs well with 55 grain rounds, but also lets me stabilize slightly heavier 62 grain rounds. Another thing to remember here, faster twist rates create more resistance against the bullet traveling through the barrel and cause slightly slower muzzle velocities. Another important aspect of barrels is whether they are designed by the manufacturer to shoot the civilian .223 caliber loads or the military 5.56 millimeter loads. Barrels designed for 5.56 millimeter are designed for much higher average chamber pressures than the ones chambered for .223 caliber. The distance between the end of the chamber and the barrel rifling, known as the throat, is also longer. You may shoot .223 caliber rounds in a barrel that is chambered for 5.56 millimeter, but you may encounter pressure and accuracy issues due to the difference in headspace. You should not shoot 5.56 millimeter loads in a barrel not chambered for military spec ammunition. The increased chamber pressure could be dangerous. Always consult your rifle manufacturer to find out what ammunition it can safely fire. Let's cover some other considerations when selecting our rifle. First, the trigger weight. The amount of force it takes to pull the trigger to the rear and the way it travels is very important. Anytime you're applying pressure to the weapon during the firing process, you can move it. This can cause missed shots. I'm using the JP Reliability Enhanced Competition Trigger. The pull weight is set to about 3.5 to 4 pounds. For tactical firearms, I don't like to go less than this weight. I also don't want any slack in the trigger, and I like the reset to be crisp. A good trigger can make firing your weapon much more efficient and accurate. You're going to do enough things to cause marksmanship error. I like to take the equipment out of that equation. I'm also using an adjustable stock. An adjustable stock is extremely important. There is no one-size-fits-all rifle. We are all different sizes, heights, and builds. We need our rifles to be adjustable so that we can remain in an ergonomically comfortable and neutral position. If we have to distort our position to accommodate a rifle that does not fit our body, it can cause marksmanship errors. Another nice feature that this stock has are hidden battery compartments. With the number of devices on this rifle that require batteries, we need to make sure that we have plenty of spare batteries. It is also helpful to use versions of the devices that share the same battery type. That way, all my spare batteries can be used in any of the devices that I mount. I'm also using a Hogue pistol grip. It has a soft, grippy, rubbery surface that gives me a consistent feel in a variety of environments. You should pick a grip that feels good in your hand and is comfortable. If you have extremely large or small hands, you may need to modify the grip or select one that is better suited for you. These are the basic considerations for your rifle selection. Many aspects were not covered because the industry standard selections are just fine. Other additions to the rifle are usually purchased separately and will be covered in the next video segments. I consider firearms to be life support equipment. I do not recommend trying to go cheap. Remember, you will get what you pay for. Good luck with your purchase. And remember, if you decide to go to JP, you can purchase this rifle as I spec it by asking for the Green Eye Tactical model. Good luck.